So this is kind of exciting. I got FSR 4.1.1 working on Palworld on RDNA2 on Windows, and it is simpler than it sounds thanks to, you know, the community and OptiScaler, of course. Hey guys, welcome back to GeekJ, where we make tech, tutorials and gaming simpler and better. So Palworld 1 is finally here, and I have to say, when me and my friends first started playing this game, it was already packed with features and the gameplay was very deep, even though in the surface didn't look like it. But wow, they have really outdone themselves with this release. The only problem is that it is still suffering from some annoying bugs. It is still on the heavier side when it comes to performance, and it still only gives us DLSS as an OptiScaler apart from Unreal Engine's default TSR. For unsupported hardware, of course. So if you're not on any supported NVIDIA GPUs, there is no FSR and there is no built-in XeSS. There's only TSR. So this is basically the perfect scenario for OptiScaler. And yeah, stick around because I will show you the clean install, the 2 INI changes you need, the quality and performance results, and the settings I would actually use on an RDNA2 GPU that is fairly powerful. Before we do anything, we want to make sure that the installation folder is completely clear of any older OptiScaler installations and their files or subfolders. The easiest way to find the actual game executable is to go on your Steam, right-click on the game over here, go to Manage, and then go down to Browse Local Files and click on this. And as you can see, we're gonna be taken to the main installation folder of Palworld, but from here we need to navigate to PAL, this PAL subfolder over here, then binaries, then Win64, and this is the actual installation folder, which means we have the real executable of the game over here. Now in this folder we need to find the remove optiscaler.bat file over here, and we're gonna run the uninstaller. So I'm gonna double click on this. So following the instructions on the screen, do you want to remove OptiScaler? I will press Y on my keyboard for yes, and then press enter. And as you can see, deleting OptiPatcher if present, OptiScaler removed. Ignore the warnings about missing files, and then press any key to continue. You can press any key on your keyboard, and we're basically done with the uninstaller part. But once that is done, manually delete any residual OptiScaler files and subfolders, especially AMD XC64.dll and the OptiScaler subfolder. So we're talking about this file and this file over here, which I am going to delete right now. So the test build of OptiScaler we're gonna use again does not override your original game file, so there's no need to make a backup for this specific installation. So we're basically only removing older OptiScaler files and subfolders, so we're not mixing different versions together. That's the main reason. Now with the old OptiScaler install cleared out, let's check out how Palworld looks and performs in its vanilla state. And with the game loaded, if I go into options and then click on graphics, as you can see, if we scroll down, DLSS is basically grayed out, so we cannot select it. We only have TSR, TAA, FXAA, and none as anti-aliasing options only, and there is no upscaling if you're an unsupported NVIDIA user or AMD and Intel GPU user. For us, unfortunately, there is no other option. I'm going to basically be selecting the Epic preset and disabling the settings I do not like, such as motion blur, for example. I'm gonna press escape once to go back, and you can see it says a restart is required to apply some settings. I'm gonna say yes. We're gonna restart the game once. I'm gonna press start game, and I'm just gonna join a single player world I have created just for this video, basically. So at native resolution, TSR is okay looking, but performance kind of suffers. Like my average FPS right now is hovering around 96, as you can see while I am recording, in a brand new world with almost nothing going on, which is definitely not a good sign for when the base gets bigger and there are a bunch of pals, you know, going about their chores and their daily lives and stuff. And there are huge buildings or multiple buildings, you know, how it goes with survival games. Also, you noticed in the beginning, I'm gonna go back into the settings over here and into the graphics. There are no TSR presets either. There is no app scaling. We're just stuck with what we get over here. And maybe you will notice this, but it looks nice and crisp when we're standing completely still and we're not even moving the camera. But once I start moving the character or the camera, the image gets noticeably blurrier, especially if you take a very close look at the grass, as you can see over here. Look at this. So this is kind of weird. And speaking of the grass, this constant popping you might be noticing is a bug I have been seeing since the early access days, and apparently it has not been fixed or addressed yet for some reason. But the good news is that it is a pretty easy fix, in big quotes, fix. So let me kind of demonstrate. As you can see on the, let's say, surface right below me, there is no visible grass, but if I do go closer, you can see that it starts popping, and it's like 2 meters in front of the character, 3 meters in front of the character, and the grass is disappearing. So the easy fix is we go into the settings over here, we go into options, graphics, of course, and the easiest solution I've found is I was on epic settings, right? I'm gonna go into high settings, press escape once so I can, you know, apply these changes, press yes, and as you can see, this is fixed now. But if you do want to stick with your own preset, whatever you had before, it's just a matter of switching between those settings, like from epic go to high or, you know, to low, whatever. It doesn't matter, just switch once and confirm it. Then I'm gonna disable motion blur again, press escape, press yes. It does say it needs a restart. It doesn't really need a restart after you go back to the preset you had before. And as you can see, the popping is completely gone, and it is basically popping in its correct distance. Like it is being faithful to the internal LOD of this preset. And as you can see with epic settings, we are getting grass not popping for a pretty good distance over there. But yeah, as you can see, there is some weirdness when we move the camera over here, and we are already at 83 FPS over here. So it is getting taxing for some reason. Our GPU is pegged, and you can see it's like 98 to 100% all the time. Temperatures are looking good, but don't forget I am in a air-conditioned room, and it is already starting to rise. It was on 25 degrees Celsius, and it has risen to 27 degrees Celsius with the AC on, because summers in Tokyo are freaking hot, guys, and very humid. So yeah, if you live in countries like, you know, Japan, where it has a tropical climate, or, you know, other places, very hot places in the Mediterranean, or wherever the summer is very hot, I think this video is going to be very useful for all of us. Also, it's not very smooth, as you can see over here. It kind of looks like it stutters, but it's not, because it is something like ghosting because of the TSR implementation. It's not exactly ghosting, but there is kind of a residual image every time we move the camera around. You can see that around the bat I'm holding and in the trees in the distance, and this is the effect we get on the grass as well. That's why it looks blurry. It's like a residual image. So yeah, there is practically nothing we can do. We could select, you know, TAA or whatever, but these are even more blurry, and FXAA is even worse, and it looks very alien, so I wouldn't bother with those. Now, since we do not have many other upscaling options here, or other options that are actually worth our time to test, let's see what we can do to improve performance and reduce GPU load. So that means, as we talked about, less heat, less fan noise, and lower power draw, which is really important for basically our very expensive future. Fun. So first we need to download the OptiScaler test version if we want to use FSR 4.1.1 on RDNA2 and other unsupported hardware, of course. So we have to go to the official OptiScaler GitHub page, as you can see over here. And then if I scroll a little bit further down, you will see that we will find the OptiScaler Discord server. And if we click on this, we're gonna be invited into the Discord server. And obviously for all of this, I'm gonna have links in the description below. So yes, specifically, we need the test version because that is what enables this FSR 4.1.1 route for RDNA2 users. So after joining the server, if you're not already a member, we're gonna go into the Opti test builds over here, click on it once, and we're gonna scroll up until we find the 4.1.1 int8 test post, which is not too far up. So don't go, ballistic with scrolling up over here. Go slow and steady. And as you can see, it says 4.1.1 int8 test. So we're gonna click on this build hot link over here, and we're gonna be taken to the correct place to download the actual files we need. As you can see, the post includes the OptiScaler 4.1.1 test archive over here. It's in 7Z format. We have the custom AMD XE64.dll that we absolutely need as RDNA2 users, and also the instructions we will need in a minute to edit the OptiScaler .ini file that's going to be pasted into our game folder, as you can see over here. So we're gonna download both of these files, but keep the Discord post open in the background because we are coming back to those instructions, and we're gonna copy paste these commands over here to find them really quickly and easily in our INI file. Now, to make this easier for myself, I create one OptiScaler folder with everything I need, and that way I can quickly copy it into whichever game I am testing next. So extract the OptiScaler archive with a 7-zip into its own folder. To do this, I'm gonna go with show more options, 7Z, and then go to extract to 4.1.1 test 7. This means it's going to create this folder for us. And as you can see, it actually has created this folder. Then we're gonna go into the old AMD XE64DLL folder over here. I'm gonna copy this file that we also downloaded, and I'm gonna paste it in this newly created folder. And basically, we are done with the folder creation. Installing this test version is easier than ever because a lot of the files are already inside the OptiScaler subfolder, as you can see over here. So we do not have to worry about backing up existing AppScaler binaries like we used to for the games that required it and all that, annoying stuff. Just copy the required files and folders into the Palworld Win64 folder, and then we're just gonna run the setup windows.bat. So usually what I do is I deselect the stuff I'm not going to use, like the licenses, these instructions over here, and the Linux setup, because I'm on Windows. I'm gonna right-click copy, and then I'm gonna go into my game folder and right-click paste. And then we're just gonna run the setup windows.bat file over here. Now for the first option, I'm going to select the xgi.dll, and I really want you to remember you need to run the Palworld game in DirectX 12 mode through Steam when launching the game, because it's going to prompt you, and this is going to work best if you do DirectX 12. If you don't do DirectX 12, OptiScaler is probably not going to be able to inject itself, and it's not going to be working. So just go with DirectX 12 for this game. So I'm gonna hit 1 and then press enter for DXGI. And for the next steps, do not blindly just copy my selections. Read the questions and choose the options that match your hardware. Since I am using an AMD GPU, I will select the AMD Intel option, which is number 1, and then I'm gonna press enter. And also select a yes on the final question, because we do want to use, the DLSS inputs and being able to use reflex, which is going to translate to the latency reduction technology we're going to use, which is going to be XeLL in this specific scenario. So I'm going to press 1 and then press enter. Now, if like me, you get an OptiPatcher prompt, select yes and let the installer finish. So we're going to press Y and then press enter. Now, do not rush it over here on the timer. Just wait for it to finish until it says OptiScaler setup completed successfully. Press any key to continue and then do exactly that. As you can see, the installer now became the uninstaller. So again, we can see the remove OptiScaler.bat file over here. And with the installation done, we need to open OptiScaler.ini and apply the changes from the Discord test build post. So let me open up OptiScaler.ini. You can use any text editor you want. I'm going to be using Notepad++ for this specific situation over here. So the fastest way is to just copy the setting name from the Discord instructions and then use the find function, which is Control F on the text editors, and we're gonna find and change the 2 values we need to. So we're gonna go back into the Discord post over here. We're gonna go with FSR 4 model, and we need to set it to 2. So we're gonna go back over here and we're gonna go Control F. Now I'm gonna paste the text over here and then click on find next. And you can see we found it. And if we set it to 2, it means it's going to be using the int 8 version, and this is exactly what we want. And then the other option is the load custom AMD blah blah. We're going to just copy this text. We're going to go back, press Control F, and then find next. And over here we need to set this to true. Then we're just gonna save this file over here, and we can just exit out of the text editor. And we are practically done. We just need to launch the game. If you see the OptiScaler pop up on the bottom left of the screen, just like I'm seeing right now, that means the installation worked correctly. And once we reach the main menu, we're gonna go back into options over here, then graphics settings, and as you can see, the app scaling is unlocked, DLSS is unlocked, and we can select, for example, quality over here. We got balanced as well, performance, automatic, and off. We're gonna go with quality, obviously. Now we need to press escape and confirm the change once, but we're not gonna exit out of the game yet. Now, since we confirmed these settings, we can press the insert key on our keyboard to open the OptiScaler menu. And as you can see, under the app scalers, we are using the FSR 3.x/4 app scaler, and then the FFX settings is showing specifically FSR 4.1.1, and we have other options over here as well. And it should appear like this if the INI file was edited correctly and we are on this specific hardware, which is RDNA2 basically. Now over here on the frame generation, we're gonna go into the FG input and we're gonna set it to DLSS via streamline. And then for the output, I'm going to select XeFG. I'm gonna press save settings over here. Do not forget this step, because otherwise this is not gonna be saved and nothing is gonna be working. And we're gonna close. And now we're gonna restart the game so the settings apply correctly. And by the way, disclaimer, this is an unofficial community test build, so game updates and OptiScaler updates can change the process. Download it only through OptiScaler's official GitHub or Discord channel, and always check the current instructions in the test build post. So if we go now into the settings and then graphics again, as you can see, we have other stuff unlocked like frame generation, and we're gonna go into this a little bit later on. But for now, let's start our game. And as you can see, we do suffer with that grass popping bug again. So immediately I'm just gonna go into the settings, graphics, and I'm gonna switch to the high preset and confirm it once. And then I'm gonna go back into these settings and set it back to epic, click yes, and we basically got rid of that, bug over here. And as you can see, we are on 77, 78 FPS on this same location over here. If we press insert on our keyboard, you can see we are using FSR 4.1.1. And basically this is where we can finally get rid of that annoying TSR blur slash kind of ghosting effect. As you can see over here, everything is really, really crisp and it is looking amazing. We are back to the 90 something, 80 something FPS, depending where we're looking, 100 something FPS, because we are obviously upscaling over here. So the performance is a little bit better. So let's go back to the exact same location on the top over there where we're getting 96 FPS. The time of day is not exactly the same, but let's see what kind of numbers we're gonna see. So yeah, pretty similar. 90 something is the average over here, 92, 93, 95. So yeah, pretty similar performance over here in the same spot. But the big difference is that everything looks crisp and really, really good, and we don't have those annoying bugs we had before. Everything is crisp, even on camera movement. So the grass is looking crisp and not blurry, and we don't have any of that ghosting that was going on before and all that weird behavior. And basically this is the setting I would actually recommend if you want the best balance between image quality and performance. But as always, here on GeekJ, we like to benchmark the upscalers as well, for science of course. So let's switch to the lowest preset, which is performance mode in this game. I'm gonna go into the options, then graphics, and we're gonna go all the way down to performance, which is the lowest preset. I'm gonna press a yes. And as you can see, we are upscaling from 540p to 1080p, but there's not a lot that has changed over here. We do get a boost in performance, so we're seeing over 100 FPS on average over here, as you can see. Starting location over here. $113, 115, 104, 101. So that's a pretty nice boost, and the game looks pretty insane for upscaling from 540p, if you ask me. Now, don't get me wrong, we do get some weirdness, especially in the distance, which is not really visible. So this is what makes it insane. This is basically performance mode. As you can see, we are upscaling, as you can see on the bottom left, from 540p, I'm gonna mention this again, to 1080p. So this is what is making it insane in my opinion. Look at how the game looks. This doesn't look like an upscaler that goes from 540p to 1080p. This is kind of insane. And yeah, I think this is the real power of the Int 8 upscalers in general. Arguably, it is still extremely good looking, but personally, I would not choose to play on performance mode unless I really needed the extra performance. Now for my recommended settings, I would still go with the Epic preset over here. So let's press escape and then options and graphics again. As you can see, we're already on the Epic preset. I'm gonna go with quality for the upscaler, and then I'm going to enable the frame generation ×2 over here. And we're gonna press escape and then confirm our changes. I'm gonna press yes over here. Then we're gonna press the insert key on our keyboard, and we are going to check the active box under frame generation over here, as you can see. So this is activated. As you can see, FG state is on. And then a little bit further down over here on the frame rate, we're gonna limit this to 3 FPS below our monitor's refresh rate. So my monitor is a 165 Hz monitor, so we're gonna go with 162. I'm gonna apply limit, then save settings and close. And as you can see, everything is working perfectly right now and we're good to go. And yeah, in my opinion, with this setup, the game looks extremely crisp. There is no ugly blurriness that we were having with TSR. Nothing weird is going on. It feels extremely smooth, and I'm gonna demonstrate this right now. As you can see over here, we did get a performance hit because we enabled frame generation, but we are basically hitting the limit we just set through OptiScaler almost over here. As you can see, 162 is where we have our limit set. And yeah, the game feels extremely smooth over here. But if you want the game to run cooler, quieter, and use less power, we're gonna press insert again over here, and we're gonna set the XeFG frame rate limit to 120 basically. Apply limit, save settings and close, and basically we are done. As easy as it can be. So my base frame rate is now a solid 60 because we set the limit to 120 with frame generation, and frame generation brings it up to 120 FPS, which I think is the sweet spot. And the GPU is not working nearly as hard as you can see over here. So instead of 98 to 100% pegged all the time, we are getting 79% and the temperature is already going down. So yeah, it is a very nice result with a very smooth game. It's not hitting the same maximum FPS, but still it's very, very smooth. Low power draw and a much nicer experience and cooler experience for yourself, because the room is gonna get hotter as well, but also for your hardware. And we're not basically throwing the image quality into the bin just to get, you know, this kind of result. So let me run around. Very, very nice. Very, very stable. And as you can see, because of that limit and because we are hitting the 60 FPS constantly right now, we have a very, very you know, straight line, as you can see over there, with our frames per second. If this helped you get FSR 4.1.1 running in Palworld on your RDNA2 or other unsupported GPU system, smash that like button, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a GeekJ video. If you want to take it further, consider joining the GeekJ squad for early access and exclusive perks, or drop a super thanks if you're feeling generous, of course. Massive shoutout, as always, to my channel architects, Paris STR and Kostas Dari. You are and forever remain legends. And yeah, I want to hear from you. What GPU are you running? What driver version are you on? And did FSR 4.1.1 clean up Palworld for you as much as it did for me? So yeah, drop your results in the comments, you know where, below. And yeah, I read every single one of your comments. And yeah, I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.